I have invested in a large number of different speculative crypto mining projects, and in this video I'm going to share exactly how I made $4,066 mining crypto in March of 2023. This will include income earned from mining crypto, running crypto nodes, and any interest earned in DeFi. I'm also sharing my monthly expenses so we get an accurate picture of my net income for the month. In the past, I've included an ROI or return on investment analysis into this video series. For those that aren't familiar, this looks at the current cost of a miner on the secondary market and compares it to the income that the miner generates per month as a percentage of its total cost. This can often be used to determine what miners are a good buy and whether returns are reasonable. I thought it'd be good to refresh that data this month, so I'll be sharing that info with you later in this video. Now, this is month 11 in this earnings review series. If you want to check out any of the prior month's videos, I'll link the playlist in the description below. Now, just to clarify, I'm not sharing this information with you today to try to brag about how much money I'm making each month or to try to promote a certain project over another. I'm here to share my crypto mining journey with you, and hopefully you can learn something and gain something from any insights I might be able to provide. And remember, as always, nothing in this video is financial advice. Let's get started. Let's start off by looking at the historical charts. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, total revenue was $4,066 in March. Of that, $815 was from miners, $3,096 was from nodes, and just $155 was from DeFi. Now, we did see a decrease in miner revenue month over month of $144. And that's really being driven by me shutting off my Gold Shell KD Box Pros near the end of February. Node revenue was up substantially month over month, up over $2,000. That's really being driven by two factors. Number one, there was a airdrop for my FLUX nodes, and number two, my revenue from my pre-search nodes was up due to the appreciation in the pre-search token price. Now, one other thing to note when comparing March to February is March has 3 extra days in it, so you would expect volumes to be up about 10% when comparing to February. When we look at my expenses month over month, they are relatively flat, an increase of $18. My mining expenses are really my electric costs for running my ASIC miners. I have a 12 cent per kilowatt hour electric rate, and that stayed consistent from February to March. So if we take my revenue minus my expenses, my net income for March came in at $3,503. And as you can see here, that is a substantial increase over any of the prior months that we've been tracking this data. Next, let's look at this by project. So if we go down here at the bottom, you can see the totals here match the totals that we just reviewed on our historical charts tab. Now, it does take me quite a bit of time to put this analysis together each month. So if you enjoy this content, please hit that like button. It really does help to promote this video and helps promote the channel. Let's start with our number one project based on net income. Those were my FLUX nodes. I currently run 2 Nimbus, 1 Stratus, and 5 Titan nodes. Like I mentioned earlier, there was a FLUX snapshot claim for March, and that's because FLUX was introduced on the Algorand blockchain this month. So for those who aren't familiar with FLUX, whenever FLUX introduces their coin on a new blockchain, you generally get a snapshot claim. So that was worth $2,000 for me for this month. Now, this will not be a recurring income for me going forward, or at least until FLUX introduces another blockchain that will be eligible on. So I would not expect this $2,000 to be recurring for next month. If we take that $2,000 out, we're really looking at closer to a net income of $150 this month for my FLUX nodes. And that decrease in net income is really being driven by the FLUX halving. FLUX had a halving in February, which reduced the block rewards going forward in half. FLUX also saw a pretty substantial decrease in the FLUX token price month over month, down 27% compared to the end of February. Now, my number 2 project for the month are my pre-search nodes. I currently run 95 pre-search nodes. I spun up 2 new nodes this month, so now I have 243,000 pre-search staked across all my different pre-search nodes. Now, these are a mix of 2,000 staked nodes and 4,000 pre-staked nodes. Pre-search allowed me to grandfather my old nodes prior to the increase in the staking minimum of 4,000 pre-search. I did a tutorial last month on how to spin up your own pre-search node. I'll link that above if you're interested in starting up your own pre-search node. One other thing to note with pre-search is we did see a substantial increase in the pre-search token price month over month. It is now up 32% versus the end of February. I know this was up even more a couple days ago. I believe pre-search was closer to 11 cents just 3 or 4 days ago. Number 3 project for the month is Element Data. I did a video on this at the beginning of March. I started this project in mid-February. When I made the video, this thing was making me $34 per day. But ever since that video came out, the IAQ token has fallen substantially. It was over $3 when I made the video, and now the token is down to, I believe, around 10 cents. The team has also decreased the reward amounts, so the rewards for this project has fallen substantially compared to the $34 that we're seeing at the beginning of March. Just today, I did an exchange and it was my one-day earnings was about $1. Number 4 project is my Demo data miners. I have 2 of these. I'm also seeing a decrease in the rewards for this project as this network grows. More and more people are setting up their Demo data miners. So the pool of rewards, we're getting a lower percentage of that pool. We also saw a substantial decrease in the Demo token price month over month, down almost 50% versus the end of February. Number 5 is my Coinbase staking for my Ethereum. I have 15 Ethereum that were staked on Coinbase. I actually made a decision here in late March to close down this staking and move all my Ethereum over to my ledger. I personally don't feel comfortable holding any assets on Coinbase for the time being, especially since Coinbase got a Wells notice from the SEC in late March. So under abundance of caution, I'm really just removing all my crypto from any exchanges and moving them into my cold storage wallet. I think Ledger is a great way to store your crypto. If you're interested in purchasing one, I'll put a link in the description below. My number 6 project is my Step-in NFT shoes. I have 10 of these. These are making me about $2 per day. This is a move to earn project. I actively sell these tokens every day and exchange them for Solana. So for the month, it earned me just under $60. My number 7 project is my Deeper Connect Mini. This is a VPN device that you get paid for running on your network. I earned $43 in Deeper tokens for this month. My credit score currently is 979, which gives me the maximum rewards available. Number 8 project is my HiFix GeoNet station. This is a space weather station. I did install a new chip this month. I did a video on that several weeks ago, and that'll double my earnings for this going forward. So we'll be earning about $2 per day going forward. I'll link that video up above if you're interested in checking that out. My number 9 project is my 3 iPolo G1 minis. Those mine the cryptocurrency Grin. I've been solo mining for several months now, and I actively sell my Grin every couple of months and exchange them for Bitcoin. So this is my number 1 ASIC project in the moment, and it is still one of the few ASICs that I'm still seeing profitability for. Number 10 project is my 5 Helium Bobcat 300 miners. Helium did see a substantial decrease in its price month over month, and I think that's really being driven by Binance announcing that they're no longer going to offer the HNT token on their exchange going forward. Number 11 are my MatchX M2 Pros. I was not able to pull in the actual earnings for this month, but I think it should be right around this 240. I got an authentication error in the app when I tried to pull that data. I'm not sure what's going on with the app this month, but really this project is pretty much dead for these MatchX M2 Pros, so I'll likely throw this in the graveyard next month. Number 12 is my Examiner. This project is still on testnet. I have now 801 gigabytes of space used. That is up substantially, 117 gigabytes versus end of last month. So we're up about 15% versus last month. So it's nice to see some space utilization finally used on that device. But obviously we still have a long way to go to get to that 64 terabyte figure. And also with my Examiner, I was not able to pull the actual numbers for March. So these are still the February numbers. My actual March numbers are probably a little bit higher with the higher data usage, but I did have an issue trying to pull the financials info on their dashboard. Currently, it wasn't available. Number 13 project is my Gold Shell ST box. This mines Starcoin. Starcoin was relatively flat month over month. And one thing to note here is this is one of the only Gold Shell mini box miners that I have left that is still profitable. Number 14 project is Mapmetrics. I didn't drive a whole lot this month, so I only got about $2 in earnings this month. The one thing I don't like about this project is you have to have the Mapmetrics app open while you're driving, otherwise you don't earn rewards. And a lot of times I forget to open it, and especially since the rewards aren't very substantial, it's sometimes not worth the hassle to constantly have this app open while I'm driving. Number 15 project is my Block Unlimited Bitcoin Nightlight. Nothing really going on here. We did see a decrease once again in the Blocks token. So really only driving about $1 in earnings once again this month. Number 16 is my Gold Shell Mini Doge 2 miner. I just got this in here at the end of March. So it's only been up and running a few days here. But the one good thing about this is it is technically still profitable, but it's really not driving much in terms of net income at this point. Then our next 3 projects are still on testnet. The Helium Bobcat 5G device, my Weather XM, which the token is expected to go live in Q4 of 2023, and then PiFi Aware, which is a reuse for my Aware element. Number 20 project are my 6 S19 Pro 110 terahash Bitcoin miners. These are still offline. This has been somewhat of a frustrating process. I purchased these back in June of 2022. Musk Miners has had issues with the generator down in Louisiana, and they've agreed to have these transferred to a different host. So I've signed a new contract with a new host up in Washington at 8.5 cent per kilowatt hour electric rate. So those hopefully will be up and running here in April, and we can start mining Bitcoin. But it is frustrating to see the Bitcoin mining difficulty constantly getting more and more difficult while I'm sitting here with miners offline. So hopefully we can get those up and running and start earning some income with those very soon. If we go down here to the bottom, these last 7 or 8 devices are all my Gold Shell mini box miners and my FutureBit Apollo device. These are all unprofitable at the moment. And really they're being used as heaters for my house, but as the weather gets warmer, I may need to shut these off if we continue to see unprofitability for these mini box miners. If you'd like me to do an update video on any of these projects, let me know in the comment section below. Or if there's another new project that I'm not involved in, let me know as well. I'm always looking for new projects. Next, let's look at the ROI analysis I put together. We'll start off with the assumptions I made just so we can level set. So first, the miner fair value estimates that I'm using here are based on recent comparable sales that I found on eBay. These are not my purchase costs. My purchase costs for these miners are substantially higher for all these devices, unfortunately. Next, this is my current month net income minus my actual expenses. Your expenses may be different if you have a different electric rate or if you have a different hosting cost than the ones that I have. The number 3, this is as of a point in time, April 1st of 2023. So obviously the value of these devices and the income that they generate will change substantially over time. Number 4, obviously this is not financial advice and don't use this as justification to purchase a miner or a node. So I sorted the projects from highest to lowest ROI, and then I put a color coding system whether I think the project is a potentially good purchase. Red being I would stay away from it, yellow is maybe, and then green I think are of the highest potential. So our number 1 currently is my Deeper Connect Mini, generating an annual ROI of 344%. Now the thing you have to keep in mind here is I have 75,000 Deeper tokens staked, which currently is valued at $618. So that would be an additional cost to start staking Deeper for this VPN project. So that's why I marked this as red. And other thing to note is the Deeper token has consistently fallen in price over time, and we really haven't seen any substantial increase in the price over the past year. Number 2 is the Demo Data Miner at an annual ROI of 186%. I have marked this as yellow. The cost for this isn't real substantial to get in. It's $400, but the concerns I have with Demo is we are seeing the coin price fall substantially, and we're seeing the total coin rewards each month decrease as more Demo data miners come onto the network. So you've got a larger number of people taking portions of the pool, so you're getting a lower allocation of the percentage of the pool. Now the good thing with this device is there was an airdrop when I purchased this, and I've been actively selling my tokens. So I've actually been able to pull out, I think, about $2,500 from these Demo data miners and sell my Demo data tokens. So I have ROI and then some for this project so far. Number 3 is my Step-In NFT shoes. You have a high ROI, but once again, Step-In, the GST token has fallen substantially over the last year. So my cost basis for this is much, much higher than the current value for these. So I've marked this as yellow because I think there's some doubt whether this project can continue on being profitable in the long run. Number 4 is the HiFix GeoNet station. This is with the upgrade card. It's the $600 price, and then I'll have an annual ROI of 124%. So I think this is your best bet right now if you're looking for a different IoT project. It generates a good return here, but it's wait to be seen if this is going to be sustainable in the long run. This is a fairly new project. I know the token just went live in August of 2022. Number 5 is Element Data. Like I mentioned earlier, the IAQ token has fallen substantially over the last month. There's no real use case for this project, so I have some severe doubts whether this project is going to last much longer. This was one of those projects that I took a shot at and was lucky to get in early on. That's why I tried to make the video on it as soon as possible. So hopefully everyone who got into the project immediately after watching the video, you should have ROI'd already, but it's not something I would really condone people throwing a lot of money in. If you've already got a Aware element, it may make sense to take a stab at this, but you really need to do your own research and analyze the risk, whether or not this is a good project for you to get into. Number 6 are my pre-search nodes. This has been a big winner for me over the past year. Like I mentioned, I have a tutorial video on how to set these up, and this is one of my top projects currently at the moment. Number 7 are my iPolo G1 minis, generating an ROI of just under 43%. This is really my best ASIC miner at the moment. The cost to get one of these is relatively low at $300, and it's really nice to see that I still at least have a few ASIC miners that are still profitable, unlike all my Gold Shell miners, which have really gone unprofitable as larger devices have come online. Number 8 is helium. I've marked this as yellow. I know a lot of people have left helium for dead and think it's a dead project, but really the cost right now to purchase a Bobcat 300, you can get them for about $100 on eBay. So if you don't have one yet, I think it might be worth taking a gamble on this, especially given the low price point now. I remember back in the fall of 2022 when it was hard to get these things were going for like $5,000 on eBay because everyone was trying to get their hands on one. Obviously, they were generating a much higher income at that time, but it maybe makes sense to take a shot at this, especially given the low price point and if you don't already have one. Number 9 is Matt Metrics. I put this as yellow just because of the low price point to get involved here of only $100, but really I'm putting it as yellow because it really doesn't generate a lot of income for me. And you really have to drive a lot if you're gonna be able to earn quite a bit for this device. Next, the Block Unlimited. This is just really a glorified nightlight. There's really not much going on with this project, so I wouldn't recommend getting into this project. Number 11 are my two MatchX M2 Pros. I think most of you are probably aware of my thoughts on MatchX. I've done several videos of them, being quite critical of them over the past several months, so I would not recommend getting into this project. I think it's a waste of money. Number 12 are my FLUX nodes. I'm putting this as green. I think FLUX has a great potential long-term to see an appreciation in price. So that's why I've got substantial investments in at FLUX at the moment. If we scroll down here to the bottom, we have several projects that are still on test net. So those are really still a gamble. So I've marked those as yellow. I'm hoping that we see a payoff once those tokens go live, but that's wait to be seen. And then finally here at the bottom, we have all our unprofitable gold shell mini box devices. And I would not recommend getting into purchasing those devices just because I think mining difficulty is going to continue to increase as more powerful miners come online. So we're going to have to see substantial increase in some of these coin prices for these mini box miners to become profitable again. And really, I'm planning on shutting down a lot of these and hoping to sell them in the next bull market when there'll be a good market for people wanting to get into cryptocurrency mining. As an update, in last month's earnings review video, I mentioned my wife and I were expecting our second baby boy in March. He did end up coming a few weeks early, and he and my wife are doing great so far. I appreciate everyone's supportive comments, and appreciate my wife letting me get away so I could film a few videos. If you enjoyed this content, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.